started to wonder, and I wondered, which led me to wonder. I had to wonder. I started to wonder. I couldn't help but 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 wonder.
What's up, city schlookers? Welcome to another episode of City Girls Make Do, your favorite Sex in the City podcast, hosted by me, Stephanie, and I am wearing a full corduroy suit.
And me, Alex, aka Sarah Jessica Michelle Gellar.
Oh, love that. We're on season 2, episode 10. It's called The Caste System.
Oh boy.
You heard that right.
Yeah, we'll get into it, but it's a bad name for a title and a bad premise.
It really is. Well, I mean, like, right off the bat, so Carrie's question of the week is, can we date outside our caste?
And they, like, full on compare it to, like, India's caste system, which really fucked up everyone. Like, it's a horror. Like, they compared it to real life ones where people are untouchables. And she says untouchables.
Oh, yeah, she says that. Yep. So, well, yeah, I guess we might as well just get into it, because we got, I know I wrote down a lot of things, so, yeah, so, we start our episode with some, like, nice spring shots of Central Park, and it's just, like, people out and about, there's, like, flowers in the trees, and some, like, music playing.
There's no voiceover for a while, so it was peaceful.
Yeah, we get, like, a full... Yep. Big is General Zhao and basically ruins everything. So, yeah, Carrie's talking about how, you know, it's like she loves so many things about New York. Like, you know, the first week in spring, it's warm, but it's not hot.
That is a nice time.
It is a really nice time. It's true. I'll give her that. But then she says men in suits, and I'm like, okay. She says some other things, but then she says, it's easy to say, I love you, New York, but it's not so easy to say, I love you, Mr. Big.
I mean, I love you, New York was a pretty famous marketing system. Also, Big is disgusting.
That's true, but what's the context this time? Oh, you mean just because she wants to say I love you to him?
Yeah, he's gross. Like, if New York is full of trash on the street, then Big is full of trash in his heart.
Yeah, basically. Well, like, Carrie saying she wants to say I love you to Big is like saying I love you, New York, but like specifically the part where there's like a guy jacking off at me on the street.
Yeah.
So
literally. And like she says, like the first time I realized I loved him was they were eating breakfast, and so this whole like first 5 minutes of this episode I wanted to die because so many people were like eating with them like mouths open and talking when they got food, and like I wanted to, no hyperbole, kill myself.
Yeah, no, for sure. It's really gross. I don't know why they needed to show this, but it's supposed to be cute, but it's kind of just disgusting.
Like, he's like a literal child. He's like cheering, he's got food in his face, and she's like giggling, and she takes it. Like, that's what you do with a 2-year-old.
It's not cute at all. But I guess that's like what makes her think she's in love with him. Pretty sure that she said I love you to him when they broke up back in season 1. I swear to God, she was like, I love you, but I can't do this, or something like that.
Yeah, she did, yeah. I love you, but I can't. I remember that.
Like, okay, also, I know that there's no timeline on saying I love you to someone, but I do feel like they've been going out like a little bit long to still have not said it to each other. Like,
I mean, he's just emotionally like a child, so he doesn't do that, I suppose. But yeah, they have been going out for a while, and they're both grown-ups. I don't know, it feels like it would have come out before.
You would think so, but I guess now is the time. So then she says then the first time she actually wanted to say it to him was when he took her to the ballet, except for she says it like ballet. He took me to the ballet and he hates the ballet and they're leaving and basically he is kind of like complaining about it a little bit. And also this whole episode, she has her hair straight.
Yeah, it was a bit weird. I was like, oh, we got straight hair Carrie, and then she's straight hair Carrie for pretty much all of the episode. So maybe she got a relaxer. I don't know.
Yeah, maybe. But like in this scene in particular, she's got straight hair, but then it's like
crimped,
super crimped. I love it so much.
It's 1998. No, 99.
It's whatever year it is. And and so he's just like complaining about it and she's just smiling. And then she looks over him and she's like, you know what? I love your hair like that. And then she just messes up his hair.
Yeah, don't you think his hair looks sexy, Pushback? He's no Aaron Samuels, even though they do have similar eyebrows.
They have similar eyebrows, but like that's pretty much as far as it goes, I guess. But God, it would have been amazing though if Ariana had done like a Sex and the City throwback too.
Oh my God, I would have.
Where she's like Carrie.
Died. Do you think she would have been Carrie?
Well, I don't know. I feel like she would have embraced Samantha, to be honest. But so then we get another scene where she's like, this is the time when I didn't expect to be saying it, but I did. This is something.
Yeah, so he like comes to her apartment to pick her up. They're going out to dinner. And he's like talking about getting a cab, but like, didn't he have a driver?
I thought he did. I don't know. Maybe his driver's on vacation?
Maybe.
Like as if he lets that happen.
As if, yeah, he's a piece of shit. And then he goes, Carrie wants to change her shoes. I don't know why she wants to change her shoes. She's in her own house. There's a lot of stuff going on, but he's like, oh, I got you a present, and he gives it to her, and she opens it, and the thing I found weird is they're like ragging on this. It's a purse, and it's ugly. First of all, let's just get that out of the way.
It's okay. So it's like a little sequined duck or something, but I don't know. It's like black and white. It's like a little clutch size, like it's tiny. I
don't think it's sequins. I think it's like diamante.
It's very like bejeweled.
Yeah, it's pretty awful. And the thing I did find weird about it was it's a Judith Lieber bag, who's a real designer, and you can go and buy bags and they all look like this. She has like some more ones that are just sort of like normal kind of clutch bags, but I found it weird that they were showcasing the designer and then spent the whole episode like, these are fucking ugly.
Yeah, true. Well, does Carrie ever say it's hideous? She says it's just wrong. And I mean, but yeah, they are shitting on it the entire episode. Yeah, I don't know who let them do this, but
I don't know. It's like, I don't know if it was like a paid sponsorship. I mean, they mention designers a lot, so I don't know if but it seems like bad. Maybe she did pay the stylist or the writer to feature it, but it seems like a bad idea. Everybody's like, that's a fucking Carrie, my idol, told me this was an ugly bag, so I'm not gonna buy it.
I know, right? Like, it's just bad advertising. But yeah, did they even say the name of the designer on the show, like in this episode?
No, but it's clear, like on the little bag, the gift bag it's on, it does say the name, so. Okay,
so it's obvious then. So Carrie is like, she has no idea what to say because she doesn't want to say like she likes it because it's hideous. So she just like looks at him and says, I love you.
And then we sort of like smash cut to the gals at brunch again. Mm-hmm. And they're like, did he say anything back? And Carrie's like, yeah, he did. And then we get like a flashback sequence, which is all fun.
Why didn't they just show it like 1 second ago when we were already there? Why did they have to do the dramatic cut? Like, HBO doesn't even have commercials, so it's not like they were like, commercial break, and then we're back, and then we'll do a flashback. Like,
it's weird. It is. And so Big goes, he's very awkward, and he says, oh, don't thank me. I'll be downstairs waiting for you.
Yeah, and he kisses her like on the nose.
Like a child, yeah.
It's so stupid. Yeah, Carrie's like, look, he definitely heard me say it. And then she says, I'm going to have to lay down the gauntlet. Either he says it back or I'll have to break up with him.
Yeah. She should have broken up with him before, not over this. But so I can't be like, don't break up with him. But this is a bit petty.
Yeah, there's so many other things you need to break up with him for first. And she says, like, she expects it to have the shelf life of a dairy product. Like, if, like, about a week from now, it's going to stink.
I guess it depends what dairy you're eating, but...
Yeah, it really depends. Most dairy lasts longer than a week.
I mean, like a hard cheese, you're fine, you know?
Yeah. Big is not a hard cheese. Big is like... I'm trying to think of like the worst cheese I can think of. Big is like a Norwegian ski queen. It's like I would rather die than eat it. So
I was thinking like cottage cheese, like that really.
Oh, yeah. He's just like runny and gross. Yeah, I hate cottage cheese.
Runny and lumpy? You don't need that. So Charlotte's being, very hopeful as always. But so is Miranda.
This is interesting, yeah. She's being the opposite of her cynical self right now. Like, she's smiling and she says, did you think maybe he's trying to find his own special way to tell you that he loves you too?
Everyone seems to be very disturbed by this.
Everyone's like, what the fuck?
I get it, though.
Well, I mean, Miranda's in her honeymoon phase right now, right? Like, she just had her own romantic epiphany. She's so happy with Steve right now that she's just, who can be cynical when you're in love? So...
Yeah, it's cute, but I do still hate Steve, and we'll find out why this episode. So tune in.
So many reasons, but this episode is like one of the number one reasons when I think about why I don't like Steve. This episode is what I think about. So
yeah, we like go to them, and they're having those like gigantic slices of New York pizza, which I want so bad.
It looked really good
because they say Carrie says like they only go to restaurants that Miranda knows Steve can afford because he insists on paying.
Yeah, and he's a bartender, I guess, so I guess he doesn't make, like, a lot of money.
No, I mean, New York is expensive as hell as well, so...
Yeah, no, for sure.
I mean, the fact that he insists on paying when she's a lawyer, I understand. But there's a couple of times you can go, okay, yeah, let's go somewhere nice and you pay.
Yeah, no, it's really stupid. This whole episode, the whole thing was Steve wanting to feel like he has to like be the man and pay for things is just very annoying to me. Like I can't imagine dating someone who like doesn't feel like we should just split things or like I'll pay and then you pay next time.
Yeah.
Or, like, if one person makes more money, then that person can just pay more often and stuff like that. Like, I don't understand why that's so hard for men.
Because of masculinity. It's fragile.
Ugh, I just hate masculinity so much.
Me too. The world would be better if it didn't exist. But unfortunately, we've got to live with it for the next foreseeable future.
That's unfortunate, but...
Yeah. But anyway, this is part 2 of, part 3 actually, because Carrie is having like a rap and she talks when she's got food in her mouth. And then they have an entire conversation while they're eating. And they're eating.
Yeah, it's gross. Yeah, they're eating their pizza and Steve is doing this gross thing where he like dangles it like a foot from his mouth and then just like eats it like he's guzzling the pizza. It's like that scene from 30 Rock where like Liz is like, do you want to see me shotgun this pizza? Except for it's Steve, yeah.
It's so disgusting. I mean, I want pizza so bad right now.
Mm-hmm.
It was truly gross. Like, and they're just like, I got a dinner coming up. Like, fucking swallow, you goddamn fucking evil people. It seems like more of an effort from a filming point of view to chew and eat these pizzas take after take than it does to just sit down in a cafe somewhere and just talk and not eat. I don't know.
Yeah, I've never been so grateful that most TV shows will have like the food in front of them and then they just like won't be eating it. I'm so happy that happens.
Yeah, because first take, you're like, oh, cool, I get to eat food. And then, 7th take, you're like, I'm finished. I don't want to eat anymore. And also, it's disgusting to hear.
Yeah, it sounds bad. I don't like it. So the whole thing they're talking about is like Miranda says her work is having like this annual dinner thing. And she's, you know, like, she's like, Steve, I want you to come. Can you take a Saturday night off so that you can come with me? And then she asks him, like, oh, well, you know, do you own a suit? Because you should probably wear a suit to something like this. And so Steve says he has a suit. It's really nice. It's gold. It's corduroy.
It's gold and corduroy.
I want to know, where the fuck did he get this corduroy suit? Because I want one.
Yeah, I want to dress like Wes Anderson.
I want this so bad, like, legitimately.
I mean, I doubt it was like gold. I would imagine it's more mustard.
Yeah, I would imagine it's kind of like a brownish more than anything. But Miranda is a corduroy hater, though. I mean, I understand not wanting to wear a corduroy suit to like a fancy event.
No, corduroy isn't a formal material.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, and she's basically just like, she says she doesn't have enough time to explain to him what's wrong with corduroy. Which I can't believe, because every single day of my life I'm wearing like double corduroy when I go to work, because I'm wearing like my corduroy pants and my corduroy jacket. So
wow.
I'm like, it's full Canadian. It's like a Canadian tuxedo, but with corduroy instead of denim. So
yeah, oh, interesting. No, I'm not the biggest corduroy lover, just because I don't think it works for me.
Yeah, I feel like I hated it when I was a kid. Like, I hated it so much because I just hated how it looked on me, and now I'm like, ooh, I love this.
Yeah, I used to have like corduroy black skinny jeans, which when I was in my emo phase were really good, because I was also really fat, so they were the only ones that fit me that were like still skinny.
Oh, I want black corduroy skinny jeans.
It was a look. It was a choice, but it was definitely still a look.
I love that.
And then, but yeah, they go back to Steve's place, and he says it's like Travis Bickle's apartment from Taxi Driver, and he's not wrong.
Yeah, no, Steve's living in squalor.
Living in like a fucking 1950s tenement building.
Yeah, the walls are like splotchy with paint, and there's like super bad lighting.
And you know that's lead paint.
Yeah, Miranda like walks in, and she just basically makes like the polite cat face and is like, oh. And then Steve says, like, you know, I know it's a piece of shit. He says it's cheap and close to the bar.
The bar. Hey, bar.
And he says, and she never has to come here again. I'm from New York. I'm walking to the bar. It's easy to walk to the bar from my apartment. It's close and cheap. Yeah, and then, okay, so then we get our Carrie voiceover. She says that night, Miranda experienced her first pangs of yuppie guilt.
Guys, they're in like a manicurist, I guess.
Ooh, this is a scene. Yeah.
This is a fucking scene. We're on like full rich white lady alert.
This scene made me very Red Mad Nude at Charlotte.
It made me so uncomfortable.
I really hated it.
Yeah.
I mean, I liked some of the parts of it, but I very hated the Charlotte of it all. So yeah, they're getting like pedicures in this place. They're all sitting on this like couch type thing while these women give them pedicures, and
I can't imagine it's a couch. Like, how often do you have 4 people all getting a pedicure together?
I have no idea. I guess it happens, but it does seem kind of like a weird setup. But yeah, so Charlotte, I guess, is trying to be like optimistic about the whole Steve thing with Miranda. Like, oh, well, you know, like lots of people started out as bartenders and then made more money later, like artists and stuff. And you know, Miranda's kind of like, well, Steve is not an artist / bartender. Like, he's just a bartender, and he's fine with that. Like, he's happy with what he does. Which is totally fine. Like, Miranda's fine with the fact that he's happy with what he's doing. Like, that's not the problem at all. So
no, I mean, I guess in a way it's better to be like, oh yeah, I'm happy being a bartender, as opposed to someone who's like, this is going to be my big break. That would kind of get on my nerves.
Yeah, like the bartender part isn't like an issue. But oh yeah, then Samantha asks how he is in bed, and Miranda says there are no words. And I was just like,
And then Carrie's like, oh, perfect relationship. He can make you come and make you a Cosmo.
Yeah.
Like, this is what people think the show is whenever you talk about it, and they're right.
Yeah, like that is pretty much word for word what you would expect from the show to be. Yep, it's good. And yeah, okay, this is when it starts to get like very sketchy. Charlotte says she doesn't know how Miranda could date someone whose entire future depends on tips, basically being like, I can't believe you date a poor.
Yeah, Miranda's been like, yeah, everyone's like, okay. And
Yeah.
And then she's like, look, face it, it's not just about money. You know, you have different education, you have different backgrounds. He is working class.
Yup. She sure says that. And everyone is like, whoa, 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 whoa. You cannot. Who says it? Carrie says, like, you cannot call someone working class. Like, it's like practically the millennium. We don't say that anymore. Like,
I mean, there is more of a class system in the UK than I think there is in America. So I wasn't like as offended, but I was like, Jesus, why is she say, like, she's saying working class like it's a bad thing.
yeah, it's like the way she says it more than what she's saying, basically. Yeah. The way she says it very implies that it's like a very bad thing. And, you know, well, before this too, like Carrie, she says, well, you know what, like I am dating Big, and Big, you know, makes more money than me. There's a difference there. And Charlotte's thing is like, okay, but that's normal. It's normal for, you know, a man to make more money. It's not normal for a woman to make more money, really. And Miranda's like, okay, but that's complete bullshit. Like, they all think it's bullshit. Like, every single person thinks that Charlotte is spewing nothing but like diarrhea from her mouth this whole conversation. And they're right.
I mean, she's technically right. Charlotte is like, technically that is more expected of the man to make more money, but that's left over from when women didn't fucking work because they just took care of the children.
Yeah, like she's right that it's more common, but she's not right that it's like more acceptable.
Yeah, she's definitely saying like it's a good thing, and it's, you know, the way the world works is good. Let's not fix anything, which isn't correct.
I can't believe that Charlotte saved feminism by saying it didn't exist. And was just like, yeah, no problem here. We're done.
Excuse me, I can vote, so everything's fine.
Everything is fine. Yep. And okay, and then Miranda's kind of like, okay, this is stupid though. Like, I just want to enjoy my success and I don't want to apologize for it, which is a really good point. And her thing is she doesn't want Steve to feel bad about like making less money. Like, she's fine with the whole situation. She just wants him to be happy and she wants her to be happy. And that makes sense. Like, that's how she should feel about it.
She doesn't want Steve to change and she doesn't want to change. So there isn't an issue, so to speak.
Yeah. I mean, there shouldn't be.
No,
but
there is, because there always is.
Yeah. There always is.
Or else there's no plot.
Yep, of course. And the part I think that made me like smash my keyboard the worst was probably the next part where Charlotte like lowers her voice and she's like, you're trying to pretend like we live in a classless society and we don't. And like, okay, she's right, but also fuck society.
She's not saying it like we need to face these realities if we're ever going to change them. She's saying, well, it exists and it's fine, so
it's fine. Yeah, she's just fine with it. And then she uses her eyes to like indicate the women doing their pedicures, like without saying it out loud.
I mean, for real, you can't really be getting a pedicure. You can't be like 4 white women getting a pedicure from presumably heavily implied 4 Asian women, and, you know, not like, and have a conversation about like class and economic disparity and, you know, not feel a bit weird about that.
Yeah, that's just so awkward the entire time. Like, the whole conversation, I was like, I just know this is coming up, isn't it? Like, this is gonna be great. And but then we got like a very fast kind of Samantha uses this as her segue to be like, you know, I'm dating a guy who has a servant.
She said servant.
Yes, a servant.
Like, you could just say like housekeeper. Like, and she also previously dated a guy who had like a maid, like a housekeeper. She's done. Why she dated that old guy? He had like a yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I really don't know. I don't know what the difference is between between, like, what makes someone a servant versus a housekeeper slash...
No, I mean a servant as well, like it's the 1800s, but... so it turns out it's... did you catch this guy's name?
Oh, I sure did. It's Harvey Turkle, baby. It's none other than the one and only Harvey Turkle.
Not dissimilar to the turtle who she previously dated.
Yes, no, very different man. Okay, and then... Okay, so Carrie's voiceover just spews a whole bunch of words that... Okay, I didn't understand it. I wrote it all down, but I couldn't make sense of it. So she says the words, he's a real estate investor who had just made a killing in the market turning Chelsea sweatshops into luxury co-ops for the upwardly trendy.
So he gentrified a neighborhood.
Oh, that's what upwardly trendy means.
It means like rich hipsters.
Okay, what's a luxury co-op?
I think it's like an apartment building, like a co-op. I don't know, I've heard it. It's like a co-op building.
Yeah, I've heard the word co-op before for like, I don't know what. I feel like they mentioned it in like Broad City once, but I'd never heard of it before, so I was like, I don't know what this is.
I think it's like more specifically a New York thing. I think it is like kind of like an owned by the people in the apartment. I don't know, bitch. I can't fucking afford I can't afford anything. Yeah.
That's valid. Mood. But this guy can afford his servant. So we meet her. Her name is Sum. She's like a Thai woman.
That's her characterization.
And that is her characterization. That is her character. And I loved the reason why they named her Sum, just so they could make...
I have to say, I did laugh at that joke out of pure... Not because it was funny, but because it was stupid.
Because of, like, just how convoluted they had to go out of their way to make that joke even happen. Like...
Yeah, and I was like, are they saying sung? Like, the whole episode was like, are they saying sung or some? And then you get to that joke, and I'm like, oh, you guys are fucking idiots. You couldn't have just used, like, a name. You had to make a pun.
Yeah. It's bad. But yeah, so she's, according to Harvey, she's like an amazing cook, and she comes off as being very friendly at first, you know, and Harvey's like, oh, I couldn't live without her.
She's extremely, like, uncomfortable, though. Like, she's all, like, she has, like, a very strong accent, and she's, like, bowing to him. It's so awkward.
Yeah, it's like extremely a caricature of what you would expect like an Asian servant to be like, I guess.
Quickly. And I watched this whole episode thinking, oh, is he what's their relationship? Is it purely platonic? I hope it is.
Yeah, it's very hard to say what the hell is going on at all. This whole story is very... I don't know who came up with this, but it's not a great episode plot.
This is about as racially insensitive as we've got. We're gonna get worse. Wait until Samantha dates a black guy.
Well, we're gonna get worse. That's not gonna be a fun one to do. So,
oh god,
yeah. And that's pretty much all we see of her for now. We'll get back to her, but for now we're like, oh, she seems nice, but poorly written. So then we start to. This is where we get Carrie's. Okay, I guess we haven't left the racism behind yet, because this is the part where Carrie starts to ask, was New York really any different from New Delhi? Had our class system been replaced by a caste system? Can we date outside our caste? Okay, let me unpack this. So Charlotte had said, you're trying to pretend like we're living in a classless society. So we've gotten to the part where it's like, should you date outside your class? But Carrie has to take it to the next level. Carrie has to be like, should you date outside your caste? Where did this come from? Where is this coming from?
I have no idea. And like, I mean, the title is the caste system, but it's not even a pun, you know? It's not even the podcast system. Yeah. That wouldn't have worked.
God, that was just bad.
It's truly offensive. Like, but they're not even doing it to be creative. I feel like it's just like edgy.
Yeah, no, for sure. They're just doing it to be edgy. Because it literally makes no sense. She could have just said, can we date outside our class? And you know what? Tolkien answered this question like 70 years ago when he wrote Frodo and Sam, okay? So
Shut up, I knew you were going to fucking do that. I mean, yeah, and I feel like, can you, I mean, class is tangible for like America. A caste system, no, that's like deeply seared within colonialism and racism and all these horrible things. And it's like, I don't know, my boyfriend's a bartender and I'm a lawyer, so like, can we date? Like, shut the fuck up.
yeah, I feel like there's a bit of a difference there between class and caste, but let's just see where Carrie's going with this, I guess.
Yeah.
So Big takes her out for this like romantic dinner, and Carrie is very sure that this is like going to be where he finally says the big L word, the big lesbian.
Yep. 3 words, 8 letters, say it and I'm yours. We're in Gossip Girl. I wish I was watching Gossip Girl. Actually, I don't.
Oh, I never watched the whole show. I only watched a little bit of it. But then, yeah, so it looks very romantic. It does seem like a very, like, setup where he would say it. It's like a nice, like a candlelit patio dinner. And, it's been like 2 days since she said it to him. So she's like, he's had time to think about it. This is his way of finally doing his, like, special thing where he tells me. And also, Big has the most hideous outfit on. Big is wearing, like, a gray suit. It's like a grayish brown suit, and then underneath he has like a fluorescent orange shirt on. It's like the color of like those orange golf balls that you go mini golfing with. Like, it's so ugly.
He is like, he's always dressed like a dad.
He's like a dad, but not like a cool hot dad. Like a dad who is always at work and always misses all of your games and just like leaves you and never comes home.
So my dad. I'm kidding. He's upstairs.
Oh no. Anyway, yeah, so, okay, then Big is like, oh, there's been something I've been meaning to tell you since I gave you the purse, which, like, this is such a fucking bait.
He knew what he was doing. Like, if we dissect this series as if these characters are real people, which I know they're not, but like, if you ever did that, you would know what you were doing.
Fucking knew what he was doing. And he leans in. Carrie, she leans in. She thinks this is it. She's like smiling. This is like, okay, like the part in Legally Blonde when like Elle thinks Warner's gonna propose, but then he like breaks up with her. Well, it's like that, but it's so much less dramatic. Because he literally is just like, you can take it back if you don't like it, like the purse. So,
God, I wish I was watching Legally Blonde.
Oh, me too. Same. Thank you, Ariana, for making me think about Legally Blonde this week.
Oh my God, it's so good. Like, every time I see my name in anything, I do the me, which it's not good. It's so good.
It is really good, though.
All right, anyway, yeah, watch, I guess that's our recommendation. Instead of watching Sex and the City, just watch watch Thank You Next and then watch every film that was referenced in Thank You Next.
Yeah, they're good. So, and then basically Carrie, like, receives what he said, and she just, like, takes this long drag on her cigarette, and just, like, you can see her giving him this death glare, and her voiceover is just like, that became the first night I wanted to tell Big, I hate you.
The first night?
Oh, yeah, no fucking kidding, like, Jesus. But it's so dramatic. She's so pissed. But I mean,
why wouldn't you? He's such a fucking wind-up merchant. I fucking hate him.
They just put on your big boy pants, Big, and just fucking say it, you fucking coward.
He is a coward. And then we move on to Charlotte.
Yeah, and she's met someone from the highest caste.
A movie star.
And he's like at her gallery for some reason, and so she sees him and goes to introduce herself because she's like, oh, I'm the director of the gallery, I'm Charlotte, blah blah blah. And he's like looking at a fire hydrant on the wall.
Yeah, And I mean, this isn't a very good fire hydrant because it's painted white, which they're red for a reason.
Yeah, and we also can see like the mic hanging over their heads through this scene, and I'm just like, really? Like, really? But yeah, his name is Wiley Ford.
Which I love that name. It's so ridiculous. Well, who's called Wiley? Apart from, there is a grime artist called Wiley, but it's not him.
It just makes me think of like, I think there's like a publisher called Wiley, and it makes me think of that.
So yeah, you're either a grime artist or you're a publisher.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, so Wiley Ford, he introduces himself, and Charlotte's just like, oh, I know, because like he's famous. And he basically is just like, oh, that's a nice piece. And he's pointing at the extinguisher on the wall because he thinks it's like an art piece.
To be fair to him, it's in like a clear casing. It's painted white, so it doesn't like a normal fire extinguisher, but also it doesn't have any like, attribution near it.
Yeah, and it's also kind of just like in the middle of the wall though, where like, I don't know, it's not like it's off to the side somewhere, it's just right there. Charlotte's kind of just like, that's just a fire extinguisher, like just for the gallery.
And she's like, oh, you can buy it and people think it's a Jeff Koons.
I had to look up who Jeff Koons is because I don't know shit about art.
You don't remember my really good inflation fetish joke?
Oh, no. I want to hear it, though.
No, when we were talking, I think it was on Lola's episode, and we were talking about how, like, Charlotte has an inflation fetish, and I said she commissioned Jeff Koons.
Oh,
there you go. You finally got it.
Yes, okay. Yeah, because, like, I get it. I get it. Because I looked up his art and was like, yep.
Oh, suddenly the Koontz is you.
Yes, I've been blown up.
No, we got a Lady Gaga reference, everybody.
Charlotte also says, oh, no, like, it happens all the time. Yeah. People always mistake the fucking fire extinguisher for an art piece.
It definitely doesn't. She just wants to make him feel better because he's a movie star.
Yeah, so... Yeah, she tries to make him feel better, and basically he's like, well, how do you feel about like closing up for the rest of the afternoon?
Yeah, that's a lot of business to lose, I suppose, but
it's a famous actor guy, so we just get like a smash cut to them making out in the back of a limo. So I guess she did it.
Yeah, and it's very generic rock music playing.
I really hate this guy a lot. He's like, he keeps calling her Charlene.
Yeah, which I always think of Jolene. God, I wish I was listening to Jolene.
Yeah, I wish we were doing anything but talking about this episode.
Yeah, we are. I feel like we're truly restraining ourselves from going on tangents because it was weird and bad. Yeah, and he's like, oh, this champagne's running through me. I need to go take a leak. Driver, pull over.
Yeah, this is gross.
He's a nasty boy.
He's a nasty boy, just peeing in the alley like some kind of degenerate. Yeah, he pulls over, and then like Charlotte goes to call Carrie because she's like, guess what I'm doing right now? I'm about to like have sex with Wiley Ford, and I'm in his limo right now, and he just got out to take a leak in the alley. Isn't that so cute?
And then Carrie is like, no.
Yeah, like, get the fuck out of there. What are you doing?
She's like, leave. Which, I mean, even my friend was like if my friend was gonna sleep with a celebrity, I would be like, okay, well, do it and tell me about it, but like, don't fall in love.
I'd be like, okay, which celebrity? But
that's a good point. It depends who.
Yeah, I don't know. We don't really know anything about this guy other than the fact that he's like a movie star, apparently.
And I guess it's proof that it just depends how rich and famous you are, because if literally anyone else is peeing in an alleyway, then Charlotte would not think it was cute.
No, like, that just seemed like such a weird thing to come out of Charlotte's mouth. Like, isn't it cute that he, like, just whipped out his dick on the street and he's just, like, pissing on a brick wall? Like, isn't that adorable? Isn't that cute?
I'm pretty sure that is illegal in New York as well, so...
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it is. It's gotta be. Yeah. She also says this thing I really hate, which is like she basically says, like, like I threw all my rules out the window when I met him, and it's like whatever he wants, I have to obey.
Yeah, we're getting into some weird 50 Shades of Grey shit. I'm not a fan.
Yeah, don't like this. And, yeah, so that's, like, pretty much all we see. Like, he comes back and they start making out again. Then we go back to Samantha and Harvey.
Harvey Turkle.
Harvey Turkle. Yeah, so she's in his bed and like he's getting ready for work, I guess, and he's basically just like, oh yeah, like stay as long as you want and some will make you breakfast and just whatever you want. What do you want for breakfast? And so Samantha's kind of just like, I'm living the high life. Like, hell yeah, I just get to sit here and have someone make me breakfast today. Fuck yeah.
This is so weird. I mean, I feel like there's no real justification here. But if you do, no. I mean, I was going to say, like, if you have a huge house, but, like, if you don't have a huge house. But, like, I can't imagine. Does she work every single day? And you're like, wake up at fucking 5 a.m., come to my house, or you have to live here, and then you need to make breakfast and wait on me hand on foot. Like, that is horrible. Why would you do that to another human being?
Yeah, I have no idea. Like, at least if you're gonna have, like, housekeepers or, like, I guess not a nanny, but, like, you know what I mean? People who work for you at your house. Like, you don't have one person do every single thing in your entire house. Like, it's...
I can understand having a nanny and I can understand having, like, someone who cleans, but I don't expect them to be there every single day.
Yeah, no, like, they have a life. Like, it's a job. It's not like it's a job where you should be working, normal human hours, like, no more than 40 hours a week and stuff like that. Like, yeah, but I don't know. She's there all the time, it seems like. And, yeah, basically he leaves and he, when he's heading out, he talks to Sam and he's just like, oh, give her everything she wants. Like, be good to Samantha and blah, 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 blah. The second he leaves, she runs into the room and she's like, up, lazy bones. She starts yelling at Samantha. Her accent is kind of less thick now than it was at dinner.
Yeah, I definitely, she's playing him and I'm into that.
She basically, like, throws Samantha out of bed. Like, she's trying to pull the sheets out because she's, like, gotta wash the sheets. And Samantha's kind of like, oh, well, where will I have breakfast? And she's like, I've got no time to make you breakfast. I've got so much stuff to do. And Samantha's, like, very taken aback because she's, like, screaming at her.
Yeah. But why didn't Samantha it was only, 30 seconds since he left? Why not just be like, hey, she just threw me out of the bed, literally.
I feel like I kind of have to suspend my disbelief for this episode for Samantha's plot because it's so ridiculous, but
it's so stupid. I have to suspend my belief for pretty much all of them because they're all stupid.
Yeah, they are all really dumb. Well, okay, Miranda and Steve's is very real.
But Steve is fucking stupid.
Oh, Steve is stupid, but their storyline is very believable in this episode, but that's unfortunate. Mm-hmm. Yeah, because they're what we see next. And then Miranda's taking Steve shopping for a suit. He's got a suit on. I don't even want to say he looks great, but Miranda says he looks great.
I mean, he looks nice. Mm-hmm. Like, but I mean, most men look nice in a well-fitting suit. I would say everyone looks nice in a well-fitting suit.
Yeah, that's a good point. And like, he looks better, I guess. And I don't know. Basically, he finds out it's an $1,800 suit, and he's like, "Well, I better not spill anything." And
then Miranda's like, "Oh, well, I invited you to this dinner, so I'll pay for the suit." And Steve is emasculated immediately.
Yep, his masculinity just got fucking nerfed. He's very unhappy about this.
Anyone would think that she got a pair of scissors and just cut his balls off right there. Like, the way he's acting is ridiculous.
I really wish she would have done that.
Just like snip, snip.
Last week we were circumcision. This week we're full on castration. We're removing the genitalia one by one, like bit by bit, snip by snip.
Not for everyone, just for Steve, because we don't like him. But I mean, like, I know we're both women, and we're both women who date men, and like, it is more expected for a man to make more money. So I don't think either of us will really give horses in the mouth too much. But this suit probably costs his rent.
Yeah, no, it's an expensive suit. Like, for $1,800, like, they could have easily gotten a cheaper suit for him, I think.
So he should either say, look, no, if you want me to buy a new suit or you want to buy me a suit or get something cheaper, or just let her do it.
Yeah, like, they could easily get a cheaper suit than this. Like if I'm spending $1,800 on a suit, it better be, like, a fucking Zero suit. Like...
Like Samus?
Yeah, like Samus. Like, it better be. But, like, it's a nice suit, but it doesn't even look like it's, like, an $1,800 suit to me. But, like, I guess my gauge for how much a suit costs is literally just, like, the scenes in Arrested Development where Job's like...
This is a $3,000 suit. God, spoilers, I can't wait until Will Arnett is here. I think it is this season, so get ready.
Oh my God, is he I knew he was on it, but I didn't realize he was that soon. Oh God. Oh, I can't wait for that. But
back in the 90s, he was in a very famous TV show.
That took me a second. He was.
What else? Yeah, he is being ridiculous, if you ask me.
Yeah, no, the next part, they go up to go pay, and so they're at the register, and Steve's card gets declined, and, like, Miranda keeps trying to, like, make him let her pay, and he just, like, keeps refusing. And then Steve is like, okay, we'll put $800 on the card, and I'll write a check for $1,000, and then I'll do the rest in cash. Miranda's like, okay, look, you don't have to do this. Like, it's too expensive. Just don't worry about it at all. And then Steve becomes a little temper tantrum, poops his pants, Steve. And he says, just let me buy the fucking suit.
Yeah, he's a bit like a toddler here. Let me buy the suit. But, like, when you're pulling out two different credit cards and when you're pulling out, like, two different cards, a check and cash, just let it pay.
Yeah, just, like, this is just embarrassing when you're trying to pay with this many different things and you've got your girlfriend trying to offer and you're just refusing. It just comes across as very just suck it up, buddy. Like, just let her pay for it. You're being such a whiny bitch. I'm sorry, but, like, you are.
He's being ridiculous at this point, and I mean, yeah, I think because it's such an expensive suit that we are just like, you can get those. I mean, you can get a pretty basic suit and just get it tailored, and it will cost a lot less.
Yeah, easily. I feel like everyone in the world knows this, but yeah, I don't know. But yeah, Steve's a big old baby about it, but that's like the end of the scene. Like, I guess he buys it, but he puts it on all these different payments. And then we go to a scene where Big takes Carrie to this cocktail party at the home of Serena Bush. I wonder if she is related to the
dead president.
Claimed to be, to our dead president.
Unfortunately, not the other one. We only have one dead Bush, not two. But soon. Yeah,
true. When is the other Bush just gonna fucking wilt already?
When are we gonna shave that bush?
When? I had a thought the other day that there's a 1 in 365 chance that 9/11 will in fact do Bush. So, just could happen. He could have a heart attack on 9/11, and
that would be too much kismet. I think everyone would freak out.
I think that would be like, holy shit. Yeah, I would pretty much laugh. Well, who was it? Patrick of HKIP was like, if that actually happens, then I will refund all of your Patreon money to you, and you'll never have to pay to be a $10 patron ever again on HKIP.
Yeah, I'm not abiding by that.
I mean, it's not really that much money, but
no.
Yeah.
Do you know what, actually, if that does happen, then fair enough, because that's small chances.
I mean, those odds are pretty bad. But
those odds are pretty fucking bad. Yeah, we get some female-presenting nipples as well.
We sure do. Serena Bush has also got her Serena nips out. So she's got them out. I had to look her up because I was like, who is this? She looked very familiar to me, but she's not. I looked her up and I don't know her from fucking anything. This sounded like it was going to go somewhere, but it didn't.
I really did. I think you were going to say, oh, she was on Parks and Rec. And no.
Yeah, well, I think it might be because she kind of looks like the actress who plays Esme Squalor on Series of Unfortunate Events.
Oh,
This actress is not her, but she's like a normie Esme Squalor, because she's like got this super nice like apartment, but she's not like dressed ridiculously. But yeah.
no, she is super normie though. Like Carrie says something like, yeah, you know, I used to know her when she was spending all of Daddy's money on a drug addict.
Yeah, because now she's spending all of her husband's money on her friendship with Tina Brown, who I had to look up because I don't know anybody. And Tina Brown wrote Princess Diana's like biography, I guess.
I don't know. I didn't even bother looking it up because I didn't really give a shit. I thought she was going to say Tina Turner, and then I was just like, ugh. So Big and Carrie arrive, and Carrie's wearing this like cute but ugly dress. I was kind of in love with it.
It's a look, yeah. It's kind of what, like a crop top type, strapless type.
Yeah, it's like 5 different pieces of fabric on one dress.
Yeah, so she's got like, it looked like some kind of tube top with like this weird ass dress skirt thing.
It had like a brown kind of like sarong, and then it went green. It was sheer. It's a lot to explain. It's a weird dress.
Yeah, it's a lot to take in. Just like this entire episode, there's just too many things going on at once that make no sense. And yeah. She also has her, like, bejeweled purse with her, and everyone else at this party has, like, the same kind of purse. Like, they've all got the same style. Like, someone's is, like, a watermelon or something, and...
Someone has, like, an eggplant emoji.
Did they? Like, a bejeweled dick purse?
Like, well, I don't think it was a dick at this point. It was just a vegetable. But I would definitely wear that.
I would bring that out. I would bring a bejeweled eggplant emoji. I guess Carrie seeing all these purses kind of triggers in her brain this thing that's like, oh, I get it now. He bought this because he thought I would like it, because he has no idea who I am and what I like. Because, like, all these rich people have this, and does he think that that's me? Like, it's clearly not her.
I don't... Not to give credit to Big, but I don't think anyone has ever really bought me, like, clothing or accessories that I've loved. Like, I've liked it, but I've never gone, I love this. I would have definitely chosen this myself. Like, that's never happened. So, and like, I mean, how Carrie's style changes so much that I don't think you can really put like a label on it and say, you know, she didn't have like an aesthetic. She just kind of chooses. She's quirky. She's eccentric. So I feel like Big maybe just sort of like, oh, that's fun. I'll get one for Carrie.
Yeah. It does seem like kind of an expensive thing to buy off the top of your head, where you're just like, yeah, I'm sure she'll love this.
But he is very rich.
But I don't know for sure. It's true. He is very rich. So it's like, this bejeweled purse, what could it cost? $10? And
yeah, how much does a banana cost, Michael?
Basically. And they get in, and my favorite thing about her saying he had no idea who I was is she prefaces it by being like, not only did Big not love me. Like, just because someone hasn't said I love you, it doesn't mean that he doesn't love you. I mean, I don't think he does, but it doesn't mean it's true. But it's very dramatic, so I kind of liked that.
I do love drama. I threw like a semi-fake tantrum the other day, just because I was kind of bored.
Yes, that's such a good reason. I love it. I'm here for it. I support you. Honestly, I've gotta say, I feel like I gotta hand it to Carrie in this episode, because I feel like she's like incredibly petty for most of it, and I'm here for it. Like, pretty much this entire party scene, I'm very like, I love what you're saying. So
yeah, petty girls make do.
I love to be a petty bitch. So so the caterer comes up to them and asks if he can get them drinks, and so Big orders a gin and tonic, but he like orders it by calling the gin like the actual name of the brand, which I was like, that's annoying and pretentious. But
yeah, it's not like you're in a bar where they have like 5 different types of gin.
Right? You're at a house party. Like, just take what they have. And it's like a rich person's house party too, so I'm sure they don't buy like nasty ass gin, but Carrie is like, oh, I'll have some red wine, and the caterer says, sorry, Miss Bush doesn't serve any brown food or drink. What?
But yeah, no brown food or drink. Would you like something clear?
I don't understand this at all. And like, they both kind of give him a look like, is this fucking real? Are you for serious? Yeah. And then Carrie goes off on this rant about like,
Carrie drags her. It's so good.
Oh, yeah. It's basically Carrie scalps Serena's bush.
Yeah. Merkin flew to China.
Yeah, she rips that bush right off, and she says, Serena thinks she's being like she thinks she's being quirky as a replacement for having a personality. And it's true.
And she's right. Like, people do this so much.
Yeah, they're like, aren't I so weird? I am an interesting person. And I'm like, you are so boring, and I don't care.
Like, aren't I weird? Like, look at how I dress. Like, oh my God. Like, look, I'm dressed like a pinup from the 50s. And you're like, okay, hold a conversation with me.
I'm so tired. Yeah. And then Big says something appalling, which I was like, excuse me. He says, don't be a bitch.
Yeah. He's like, she's like, I'm not being a bitch, I'm being myself. And he's like, well, you're being a little bit bitchy. Like, how? Fuck this dude.
Yeah, fuck this. I was not pleased to hear this at all. I mean, I'm not entirely surprised to hear this at all, but I'm also kind of just like, incredibly rude thing to say to your girlfriend. And yeah, basically, then Serena comes up to them, and Carrie's like trying to light her cigarette, and she's like, oh, you can't smoke in here, you have to go to the terrace. So Carrie's like, well, I guess I'm going to the terrace then, because fuck this.
Well, I mean, Carrie is, I mean, you can't smoke in other people's houses.
No, I know, it's true. Like, especially like when no one else is smoking, like you get to this apartment and no one else has a cigarette in their hand. It's like, maybe you read the room a little bit. But yeah. Carrie's like, what? Like, it's the 90s. I can do anything. I can smoke in an apartment. And she goes out to the terrace, and that's like pretty much all we see for now.
Yeah, and she's like, not only have I been cast out, you're not allowed to smoke in other people's houses if they don't want you to. I mean, she's dramatic to the nth degree.
I do love the drama of it all. Like, I do think it's very funny, and I really don't like this Bush lady, so I'm kind of like, smoke in this rich person's apartment because I hate her wealth. But
I don't like her. She's too rich, and she's wearing like a thick dress, but she still has nipples poking out. So how's that happening?
It's because she's getting off on telling Carrie to go smoke outside, and you can just tell because her nipples are so hard, because she's just like she's just getting so off on it. Yeah. She's clearly spending the entire night just being like incredibly, like, for some reason it seems like she just doesn't like Carrie for absolutely no reason.
No, she's like edging on hate.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, very much so. So, close to the edge.
I'm on the edge.
That's this podcast. Look, on this podcast, we don't recommend edging. We recommend just going all the way and blowing your load. So
just come.
Just like Nike says on their ad, just come. Then we go back to Charlotte. So she's still with Wiley. And he's like they're at a restaurant.
And they're smoking marijuana in this restaurant.
Yeah, they sure are. Love that Charlotte sure does call it that.
She's like, I didn't know marijuana. You didn't know you could smoke marijuana in a restaurant. She really does like put the emphasis on it. I love it.
She sure goes for it. And but I hate his response because like he just laughs and then like so he tries to pass the joint to her and she's like, look, no, I don't smoke pot, that thanks though. And then he basically just leans over and kisses her with his mouth full of smoke and just like blows it into her mouth. What's this called? Is this okay, wait, I always, is this called snowballing or is that just when it's cum?
That's when it's come.
What's it called when it's smoke?
I don't know, but I can't even think because now I'm just thinking of snowballing.
I thought they called the same name, but I didn't want to call it that in case it was only the cum thing.
All right, let me see. Shotgun? Yeah, shotgun kiss.
Oh yeah, I think, yeah, that makes sense. Okay, so it's not snowballing. Okay, good. Gonna put that in my brain vault and remember it for later.
Yeah, you don't want to be like at a party and you say to your boyfriend, hey, want to snowball?
Yeah. I'm gonna avoid that.
But yeah, he does, and like she's with his entourage and she's wearing like a leather like bandeau kind of corset top, and because she's edgy now, this edgy Charlotte. And he's still calling her Charlene.
Well, Dark Charlotte is Charlene, basically.
This is her Sasha Fierce.
Oh, it totally is. You know what? I would be more here for it if she owned it, but she's very much just like, you can tell it's not her.
Not at all.
Mm-hmm. She's being a poser edgy girl.
Yeah, that's pretty much it for now.
You can tell that she is kind of just like, she's trying to have fun, but she, this isn't really her scene. But
yeah, and we kind of like swap back and forth through the four girls for this like last act, I suppose.
Yeah, we really do. It's kind of like a lot going on at once. Yeah. So then we go back to Samantha. So she's having dinner at Harvey's. She basically tries to tell him that, like, someone's kind of rude to me. Like, she pretty much threw me out of bed.
Yeah, and he's like, oh, her English isn't very good. Like, don't take it personally, whatever.
Yeah, which, okay, and yeah, then some, like, comes back with their food, and then she has, like, a thicker accent again, and she's just, like, asking if they want more asparagus, and this is where we get the really incredibly the joke. So we get Carrie's voiceover, and she says that was when Samantha realized she wasn't so dim that some.
Yeah, that's where I laughed. I was like, what? Because I mean, it's a shitty joke, but I was more astounded like just them naming an entire character over a pun.
Is dim sum even Thai?
No, it's Chinese.
Okay, I didn't think so.
Well, Asian's just a continent where everyone's the same.
Yeah, that's just lazy. Like,
It's really fucking like they couldn't think of like a Thai food.
Even if they did, it probably wouldn't have even been any, like, it would have been like marginally better, but still like really, I don't know.
So yeah, then we go back to Carrie and she's smoking outside on this terrace, and then her friend comes over and he's called Jeremiah and he's pretty cute.
Yeah, he's definitely cuter than Big is. So he's one of the caterers, but, Carrie says he's better known as, like, what did she say he's known as? Like, a performance artist.
It says downtown he's a performance artist, and then uptown he's, hey, you.
And yeah, he seems, like, kind of cute. He comes out, and this is while she's pondering that, relationships really do have their own caste system. There's the person who says, I love you, and then there's the person who never responds.
She's being so bitter.
Remember back when there was the caste system and people would say, I love you, and then the worst thing that happened was that the other person didn't say it back?
It's like those fucking emails, like those chain emails, like, the heart transplant boyfriend. She believed he lied.
It's Carrie, just stop with the metaphor. It's bad.
Yeah. And Jeremiah's like, oh, hey, you want to see my tattoo? Which is, where is it? Like, it's on his snail trail.
It is on his snail trail. Yes, absolutely. Yeah.
Carrie sort of says like they're friends, but they've kind of maintained like a healthy flirtationship for the past few years.
Yeah, and they're clearly kind of flirting because like when he asks her who she's here with, she's like, oh, some guy.
Some guy.
So not my boyfriend of like a year that I'm in love with, just some guy. Yeah.
But she like goes to see his tattoo and she's like bending over.
And she's like, oh yeah, it goes pretty far. Because yeah, he has to like unbuckle his pants to show her the whole thing. So, and then they get interrupted by Serena, who's at the door and kind of is just like and interrupts them. And it looks kind of bad because like you can see it like right from behind Carrie where she's like bending over at his crotch, I guess, while his pants are undone.
Yeah.
You can tell it's not anything more than just her looking at his tattoo, though. Like, it seems pretty clear that it's not anything like gross.
I mean, not to get crude, but if you're sucking a dick, like, you're not going to be crouched down.
Yeah, no, true. She's not in ideal dick sucking position. Like,
oh. And like when she pulls away pretty quickly and you can see that like his dick is in his pants.
Yeah, it's not even out. Dick is not even out. What the fuck is she?
Dick ain't out. Not a problem here.
Yeah. How? In what world can you suck a dick that's not out?
Telepathically sucking dick, like telekinetically.
Why would anyone do that? I mean, you wouldn't have to take out your ribs. You could just do it telepathically. Could you imagine if you could, like, telepathically suck your own dick?
I mean, that must be what Jedis do.
Telepathic autofellatio?
Yeah. You think Yoda ain't sucking his own dick?
That's how Obi-Wan made it so long without nutting. Well, no, he still nutted.
But he didn't, like, nut with another person. I mean, you know, you see, like, 2001 Ewan McGregor and you're gonna flirt.
Even if you are 2001 Ewan McGregor. Like...
You're telling... I know... Listen, I've seen that man. I know he'd fuck himself. If there was a clone, the Clone Wars.
That should just be the plot of one of the next, like, installments that just is, like, not one of the main series movies, like Rogue One, except for it's, like, Obi-Wan just in a cave sucking his own dick.
They've been talking about an Obi-Wan spin-off for so long. If it was just him sucking his own dick for an hour and 40 minutes, I would go see that.
I would see it. I would pay for that.
Oh my god. Yeah.
Yeah, so I guess basically the reason we've been talking about blowjobs and dick sucking, well, blowjobs are dick sucking, but the reason we've been talking about it,
I mean, more than usual.
Yeah, it's because Serena goes back in and we see her talking to Big, and then we see Big kind of turn around and look confused, and then he goes up to Carrie and is like, like, were you really giving that caterer a blowjob?
And he's obviously joking because he clearly knows she's not just, like, immediately going to suck a dude's dick.
Yeah, like, say what you want about Carrie. She's not about to just run off and suck some guy's dick while she's at a party with her boyfriend, but...
on a terrace where everyone can see them.
Yeah, no shit. But then Carrie doesn't even respond with no. She's just like, he's not a caterer. He is a well-known performance artist.
As if that makes it any... I mean, as if that makes it any better. Like, no, I wasn't sucking... He's just a caterer / well-known performance artist. But yes, I was sucking his dick, if you want to know.
Because, yeah, Big's like, well, that didn't answer my question. And Carrie's like, but that's because your question was offensive. Which, I really liked that. I thought that was funny.
I guess, I mean, it's pretty offensive, but...
It is kind of rude to just be like, that caterer, like, I don't know. It's not like he was like, whoa, were you, like, sucking that lowlife's dick? Like, that's not the part he was accusing you of. He was accusing you of, like, doing it, period.
It's the verbiage, not the noun, you need to pay attention to.
Yes. Exactly. Well, because he says you're embarrassing me.
Oh, and then she's like, oh, I'm having fun. If you want to leave, you can go.
She looks like she's having so much fun.
She's scowling throughout this entire episode.
Oh, it's so good. Yeah, she's not happy, but... Yeah, that's like the end of the scene. She storms off, and...
Yeah, and then Steve. So...
Steve. Ugh.
He knocks at Miranda's apartment door and she's like, oh, hi, Steve. What's up? Because she's ready to go to this dinner. She's all, gussied up. She's got her pearls on. And he's just wearing like a shirt and jeans.
Yeah, he's clearly like not dressed to go out or anything. And yeah, she's like, okay, well, what's the deal? And then basically this is Miranda or Steve being like, look, I returned the suit. I couldn't afford it. And Miranda's like, oh, well, I offered to pay for it. And Steve's basically just like, well, look, you need a guy who's on your level. And he basically says that he felt like shit when he was in the store. Like, he didn't feel good about himself at all. And so Miranda is super upset about it. Like, she looks like she's like fighting back tears, basically just being like, you're breaking up with me over a suit.
She is. And they say the saddest thing is not seeing someone cry. It's seeing someone try and hold them back.
That's true. This makes me think of when I remember being like a teenager and one of my best friends was like a huge big time Harry Hermione shipper, and like I also supported the Harry Hermione but her big thing was basically like, a man who really loves you should never make you cry, and Ron made Hermione cry so many times. And so this just makes me think of that.
Shouldn't make you cry intentionally, but I mean, some people do just cry a lot.
Yeah, there's a difference between you crying because, like, your boyfriend was mean to you and crying maybe because, like, you had a discussion with your boyfriend and stuff like that. Like, there's a difference, but he should never make you cry because he's being, like, mean to you or something.
No, that's very, like, 12-year-old. Like, your boyfriend should never make you cry. Like, yeah, idealistically, but not realistically.
Yeah. Yeah, in a realistic world, I would never cry ever, but this isn't, this is the real world, and I cry all the fucking time, so, but yes.
Mm-hmm. It's really, and he's saying, you deserve someone better, and she's like, are you breaking up with me? And he is. Yeah,
he's entirely breaking up with her for this, and Miranda literally says to him, so I'm punished for being successful.
And he's like, oh, I didn't mean it like that. But that is what's happening, so...
Yeah, it's entirely what's happening. Like, grow the fuck up, buddy. And then Miranda, like, slams the door in his face, and she goes to the party alone.
It's really sad. And it's just so... She is being punished for being successful because he can't take that she is richer than him. And it's not fair on either of them at the end of the day.
It's really unfortunate. This is such an ugly quality about Steve. Like, I don't know. I can understand being like a little bit like feeling bad because you don't want someone to pay for everything when you feel like you're not contributing or something like that. Like, I always feel kind of uncomfortable if someone buys a lot of things for me and I'm kind of like, oh, like, what did I do to deserve all these nice things? But like, this is next level. It's not like, oh, I feel a little bit uncomfortable about it. It's like he feels like shit about himself because she's more successful. And yeah.
And there was like, they didn't have a conversation even about this. That they could have done the grown-up thing and he could have said, look, I don't want you either, you need to accept what I can and can't afford. Mm-hmm. Right?
Yeah.
But he didn't even give her the opportunity to do that, which is shit, in my opinion. And I don't know, I'm not like you. I just like being bought stuff.
Valid.
What else? That's pretty much it, and it's really horrible.
Yeah, that's like the entire story from Miranda this week. She goes to the party, and then she wonders what was really wrong with Corduroy in the first place, and fucking nothing. This is her punishment for thinking Corduroy is bad.
Is it a punishment, or is it moving on to a better place?
I think it's kind of like a gift in disguise. Like, it seems bad, but it's actually good.
If God can lead you to it, then
Steve's
God
fine.
can get you through it, and you need a better boyfriend.
Wow, that's powerful. Is that from the Bible?
No. Yeah, it was in Vogue.
I was joking, but that's my favorite chapter of the Bible. I don't know what the chapters are called. Like, what's it called when it's like Mark?
Book. I think. Gospel? I don't know. I've never read. I am sitting next to a couple of Bibles, but I ain't read that.
Well, you've probably read more than me, but...
No, I doubt that, but this ain't Bible girls, mate, do.
That's true. Gotta go somewhere else for that. So, okay, then we go back to Charlotte and Wiley, and I think this is their last scene of the episode.
Yeah. So Charlotte, all right, so Carrie's voiceover is Charlotte has gone from girlfriend to groupie because she's like bringing over everyone's drinks for them. And she sits next to Wiley, and this made me scream.
This was so gross. Just say it.
Okay, I'll just quote it. I'll just say it. So he says, hey, how about you go to the ladies' room, stick your finger in your pussy, come out and let me smell it.
And like the friends who are sitting at the table can like hear him say this too, because like the guy sitting next to Charlotte kind of just like looks over at Charlotte as she's about to respond to it.
Yeah. Oh, what are you going to say to that? No. Yeah,
Charlotte's kind of just like, I can't do that. And she just straight up leaves. She's like, no.
That is the weirdest thing anyone has like requested to do. Is so gross.
It's very gross. Really didn't like that. But I'm happy that Charlotte just left.
And Charlotte's like very real reaction of no. I'm not, just like this flat no. I really appreciate it.
Yeah, I think my favorite part is just that it's so over the top ridiculous that it's like her response isn't even just like, you're disgusting, I hate you. It's like she's still smiling the whole time, just like, I'm not doing that. she's just so bewildered.
Like, that's a weird thing to ask someone. No.
Yeah. I don't even understand how that's like an episode plot, but that's the finish of it. So, yeah. Then we go back to Carrie. So she's left the party with Jeremiah, and they're walking down the street, like, singing.
Yeah, they're singing Jeremiah was a bullfrog. I don't know why I'm singing so much this episode. I really cannot sing.
Same. And then Jeremiah kisses her, and, like, she's, like, kissing him back.
Yeah, she kind of kissed him back. She kind of pulls him off. It's a bit ambiguous.
Yeah, it's not like a very long kiss, but it's not like a peck either. But then Carrie's voiceover is just like, that's the last thing I could remember that night. Yeah, that's bad. I don't like that. But then we go back to Samantha. So this is the part where Samantha gets thrown out of bed. So Samantha's like in Harvey's bed, and then some comes to take the sheets away, and like Harvey's in the shower during all this, and Samantha says no, tries to pull the covers back, and then some just like falls over trying to pull the sheets.
How hard is she putting this sheet? It's kind of ridiculous.
I have no idea. Then like when she falls over, she cries out, and Harvey like immediately bursts out of the shower and is just like, what's wrong? What happened? Some just like accuses Samantha of hitting her. Just wild.
And like before, like, because she storms in with the like screaming at Samantha, she's like, you're a nasty, filthy, cocksucking whore. And Samantha's just like, what?
Oh, because excuse me? Yeah.
Because it's so full on. Like, why would you, like, she storms in saying that. It's so much.
So much.
And then Harvey Turkle is like, I think you should leave. Who hits someone, you know?
Yeah, like, Samantha's like, let me explain. And he's like, there's nothing to explain. Like, clearly there is only one thing that could have happened. And that's the end of the story.
This was a weird story for anyone to go on, but I didn't love it.
Yeah, it's bizarre. Okay, so that's the end of Samantha, and then we finish off Carrie. So Carrie wakes up the next morning, and she gets a call from Big. Like, she looks pretty hungover. She's just like, because, I mean, she was blackout drunk.
Yeah, and, like, Jeremiah's in bed with her, but they're both fully clothed.
Yes, so he's lying there. And so she picks up the phone, and Big's like, look, I know what you're really pissed off about, and it's just something I have to do on my own time. And then he says, I fucking love you, all right? Like, you know I love you. I know, he's like, I can't fucking believe I have to tell you that I love you, but I guess I'll have to because, like, you just are so mad that I haven't said it yet.
Ugh, why is my girlfriend mad that I'm not communicating with her?
Oh my god. And the thing that pisses me off so much is that Big basically says, look, when I've said I love you to people before, it's always gotten me into trouble. And I'm like, what does that mean? He's gotten you into trouble. Like, what does that...
It means he's been in so many... because he said that thing about the key. Like, I've given, like, 5 keys out. Like, I think he's just in loads of relationships.
I just... it's baffling to me, and he's just a fucking baby, and he needs to put his big Mr. Big Boy pants on.
You're right.
Then Jeremiah like sits up, and Carrie just like puts her hand over his mouth because he like starts to talk, and she's like, fuck up. And basically Carrie's just like, I don't know, like Big asks if they're good. Carrie says yeah, she loves him too, and like they'll talk later.
Yeah. Carrie she like turns to Jeremiah and she's like, we didn't, right? And he's like, no, I don't think so. Yeah. Oh, God, no, you're disgusting.
Yeah, he's like, oh, God, no. Yeah. Well, I'm guessing, like, he probably knows if he was that drunk, there's no way that was happening. Like, that's just how it is.
And they are both fully clothed. Like, it seems weird. He's like, yeah, I'm pretty sure we didn't. And then Carrie says something wild. She's like, I never told Big.
Yeah, she really thought this was just wild because she's like, I never told Big because she figures what happens before I love you doesn't count.
No.
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 What?
You kissed another guy. Like, yeah, you were drunk, but you still kissed another guy, and that's not good.
Yeah, and like, even if they didn't actually fuck, like, if they did anything else too, even if they had just spent the entire night like making out in her bed, like that's still incredibly, like they're in a monogamous relationship, like regardless of if they've said I love you.
Because if he did the same thing to her, she wouldn't be happy.
Oh no, she'd be pissed, and like she would have every reason to be pissed, but like, yeah, it makes absolutely no sense. But
no, not at all. Oh God, I never told Big, but I did write about it in my column.
Fuck, yeah, she probably fucking did. And Big reads her column sometimes too, so like...
He's like, maybe you should have had a conversation with me before you publish this. I like to imagine the editor of the New York Post or whatever, just chain smoking like in their office, like, Carrie, where's the fucking article? Where's the fucking column? And she's like, oh, I'd write it about caste systems. I'm like, we can't publish this.
Probably, though. I mean, yeah.
Just like shaking, like drinking at work. Like, Carrie, it's J. Jonah Jameson.
Fucking God. Well, I mean, yeah. I mean, she publishes ridiculous shit all the time, but, like, I feel like it's not usually just, like, straight up racist, but...
No, I mean, I really hope it is J. Jonah Jameson, and this takes place in the same universe as Spider-Man, but it's never mentioned.
That would be so good. Oh, fuck. Yeah.
This is so stupid. I guess we should get into rankings, though, because that's the end.
Yeah. Okay, let's rank. Okay, so
Carrie is at the fucking bottom.
Honestly, I feel like she's above Charlotte for me this week.
They are joint fucking bottom feeders.
Yeah. Okay, so for me, Charlotte's at the bottom because of all that shit she pulled during the pedicure scene with, like, you're trying to pretend classes don't exist, but lots of people are beneath me, and...
I went to spin.
Literally, they're beneath me right now because I'm getting my feet done. And yeah, Charlotte just said some really fucking appalling stuff this episode that I just thought was just really stupid. I was like, Charlotte, fuck off. And And then Carrie's second last. I did really enjoy her petty bullshit, but then as soon as it became like into the cheating territory, I was like, no.
Yeah.
This is bad and I hate it. So yeah, so she's my second bottom. And then Samantha, like I thought her plot was stupid, so I was like, I don't know. I can't put her first because the plot was just like, it's not like Samantha was bad in the plot, but I just didn't enjoy the story in general. So
no, and she did seem like, I don't know, I didn't understand it, and she did seem very cool with dating a guy who has a very weird relationship with his staff.
Yeah, I didn't like that. And then Miranda would be the top because she's a successful woman and she just wants to buy her boyfriend a suit, but he's a whiny little baby shit-eating piece of shit. So, yeah.
God, I can't believe they didn't make a pun about staff.
Oh, God. Yeah, fuck. Well, I guess they just didn't think about it, but...
They didn't think about much. And everything they did think about, they overthought.
Yeah, there was no thought that went into this at all. No. But what are your rankings?
I mean, I would say pretty similar, but I think Carrie and Charlotte are on more or less the same level for me. And then it's Samantha, and then I would say that Miranda is a couple of rungs above that. She was by far the most normal person this episode.
It was like the only plot that was relatable. It was the only plot that I was like, yeah, this happens in real life. The other ones I was like, what is happening? Like, Carrie is up until a point. I did appreciate that Carrie had a lot of points this episode where she was like at this party and she was like, wow, I fucking hate being around all these rich people. They're all assholes and I don't like this at all. But I'm also like, you're dating one, honey. Like,
yeah, you can just not date him or not. Yeah, she's complicit at the end of the day.
Yeah, at first she kind of came across like Comrade Carrie, and then by the end of it, I was like, you're bougie adjacent, so...
Bougie Bradshaw.
Yep, that's her name.
Wow, don't be a bougie Bradshaw, be a Comrade Carrie.
Those are the words you should live by. That's basically our podcast in a nutshell.
Yeah, this is the only communist dissection of Sex and the City.
Mm-hmm. It's like the CCCP... in the USSR, it stands for Carrie, Charlotte, Samantha, and Raranda. Or Paranda? I guess it's a P, yeah. I don't know. It's a P, but it's for Russia, right? Because like I think they've got like the P that's like an R, so...
Yeah, well, where does Samantha fit in? She's just not in it.
She was Chamantha for the third C.
Camantha, yes.
Or Camantha. Yeah. Yes. Yeah, so those are our rankings. I guess we can do questions. Yeah. So if you want to send us questions, send them to citygirlsmakedo.tumblr.com/ask. Tumblr does seem to be like a slightly dying medium at the moment. We'll see where it goes in the forthcoming weeks. But yeah, so our first question is from Anonymous, and they say, Broad City is the millennial answer to Sex and the City. Discuss.
No.
Yeah. There's some things in common, like they're both kind of like a love letter to New York. They're both like, look at these modern girls doing things real women do, and not just like, I don't know. But then at the same time... I don't know. They both do kind of pretend to be like fake woke, where they're not actually. They're like, wouldn't it be great to have Hillary Clinton on our show? Like, I feel like, yeah. I feel like Carrie loves Hillary Clinton.
Carrie loves Hillary Clinton, but does not vote.
Yeah.
This is a woman 100%. Who does not vote. She was doing something. Oh, I forgot. Like, how do you forget the election? Yeah, I feel like I've decided that Girls is the millennial Sex and the City.
Yeah, I think that's a more accurate representation, just because it's like there's more girls in it. Like it's like more of like a group of like 4 girls, I guess. So
it's like more 4, and it's kind of, I think where Sex and the City leans more on the comedy side, Girls kind of leans more on the drama. And by that, I mean Girls is not funny at all.
Yeah. And Broad City is like more on the comedy end. So it's like Sex and the City... Like, Sex and the City doesn't go as off the wall as Broad City does.
No, and there are like serious moments of Sex and the City, and I don't think there are serious moments of Broad City.
Well, I was sad when... Oh, fuck. I feel like I can't be sad about something if I don't even remember the character's name. I was sad when Hannibal broke up with Alana.
That's true. That's sad.
But that was it. Yeah. But I don't remember his character's name, so I can't be that sad about it.
I will say that I think Broad City is a lot more diverse than Sex and the City ever was. Like, Girls just have, like, Jewish characters, and they're not super waspy, but, like, Lena Dunham is a wasp and a half.
Yeah, true. So, yeah, I think that's a better answer to it than Broad City.
So you're wrong. Don't contact us ever again. Fuck off. Don't listen to the show.
Anonymous. More like Anana wrong. So, deleting your ask.
Thank you, Anon.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you for conversing with us.
Thank you for conversating with us. We love all of our listeners.
Do we love every single one of them? I don't know. We love most of our listeners, but
no. Let's just hold like a little pile just in case one of you fucks up.
Yeah, I don't want to be caught like on the line saying we love all of our listeners, and then one of our listeners turns out to be like a murderer or like fucking like a Woody Allen apologist or something. Like, I don't.
They're just gonna say Woody Allen. If Woody Allen listened to this, I'd be like, I think we'd have to play it up. We'd have to be like, oh wow, yeah, we love you. Can we like meet you? And then we'd have to kill him.
Yeah, absolutely. Not a threat, just a fact. All right, so next question is from Tumblr user PR the Disaster, a friend of the show, who says, okay, so this is a long one, so okay, let's just go through it. So, do you know whether the whole Big Carrie storyline comes from the Sex and the City original book or the other girl's fixed love interest for that matter? Because I remember that was what happened with Orange is the New Black, where the bad characterization came from the book and the interesting parts were original to the show. That would at least be an excuse for the show not being allowed to shake off Big when noticing he's a really shitty part of the story, or Steve having to come back later like he apparently does.
I was going to research this and then I didn't because I was like, oh yeah, I'll have a little quick look.
Okay, but I think even if we don't know whether or not he's from the books, I will say I disagree that they would use that as an excuse because the show actively wants you to root for Carrie and Big.
Yeah.
There are a lot of fans of the show who they're like, Big and Carrie, OTP.
Yeah, it's so weird. Like, you will see fans, because I was looking at Sex and the City Reddit and they were like, oh my god, I love Big and Carrie. They're perfect. They're not.
I mean, they're perfect for each other because they both suck ass, but...
Yeah. And it's like, was it Summer who said that when she listened to the show, she thought Big was like an antagonist because of how much we hated him until she watched the show and realized that no, you're meant to like him.
Yeah, no, you're supposed to like him. You're supposed to root for him. Like, if you weren't supposed to root for him, like, I feel like they would have dropped him a long time ago. They knew right from the beginning that they wanted him to be like her big, like, no pun intended, love interest. And yeah.
Yeah. They could have dropped him after season 1 because they broke up. So they could just been dropped.
Yeah, and honestly, I feel like part of it is part of the show trying to be like, well, you know, like, this is an example of the guy everyone knows who was never able to love anybody, and then, you know, he has to get over it over the course of, like, 5 seasons and realize that he really does love Carrie, and maybe he should make sacrifices for her, and isn't that so romantic? And it's like, no, you're, like, 50. Fuck off. Like...
He's definitely portrayed as like the dream bachelor of he's rich and he's handsome and he's sophisticated.
He's like charming, yeah, but he's a piece of shit. Like,
he's a piece of shit.
Yeah, like if you're in your 20s and you're having these issues where, you know, you're afraid of commitment or not able to settle down. It's hard to say I love you. Stuff like that. I feel like that's more normal because, like, this might be the first time you're kind of ever being in a relationship, or it might be like this kind of feels like that's the part of your life where you're starting to get older and realize, oh my God, I might actually be settling down instead of just being like a young person anymore. But like, Big is in his mid-40s. There's no reason for him to be this childish about.
No, and he's been married before. He's clearly been in he's been in plenty of relationships, and I think they've all failed because of him.
Yeah, exactly. Like, he's just like a person who shouldn't even be tried to be fixed. Like, he's just a mess. No. And Carrie thinks he's like this project that she can be like, oh, well, maybe he will change entirely as a person and be exactly what I want him to be. And I'm like, just find someone else who's better.
That's never going to happen for anyone. And I think it was in the books because, but they changed a lot. Like, I think Samantha, Charlotte, and Miranda's names were all like, they all kind of swapped those around, like, for some reason. And but no, I'm pretty sure Big was in the book because do you remember when I shared that article that was like the real Mr. Big, who like the real person that Candace Bushnell based the character on? Yeah,
true. So he probably is from the book. Mm-hmm.
We'll probably link that on the Tumblr, but he was just like I think he was like a publisher or something. Yeah, he was a rich dude.
I don't know about Steve though. I feel like Steve is just kind of the guy who, I don't know, I think they just wanted to give Miranda someone, like, Steve is also supposed to be a likable character.
Yeah, because they keep bringing him back.
Yeah, and, like, the thing is, obviously there's things like this episode where we're meant to think he has faults, but it's supposed to be like, he has faults, but, like, at the end of the day, isn't he pretty great? And it's like, no, especially not for Miranda, but... like, I'm trying to think of any of their love interests that I actually think are suitable for them. And, like, Harry.
I love Harry.
Is probably the best one. He's, like, the only one who's probably actually good for the person that he's with. But that's about it. Aiden, I guess, but he doesn't count because Carrie's an idiot. So.
I love Aiden, too. But, no, okay. I think, sadly, that's it.
Yeah. I think that's pretty much all we can really say about this. But thank you for the question. And that's pretty much the end of our episode now. So you can find us at the usual places. I'm on Twitter as Age of Oddish, and I'm on Tumblr at Windfall Island.
And I'm on Tumblr at Dork Phoenix. But I'll probably have to start plugging other stuff soon. So
yeah, we might have to do that. Rest in fucking pieces, Tumblr. I mean, I'm going to be on it until it fucking ends completely, but at the rate it's at right now, Tumblr is absolutely shitting the bed on this. So, But, yes, see you guys next week, and I can't think of anything funny.
Bye.
Bye.